Hey everyone, I am still at the conference in Denver. I just wanted to check in with you quickly to let you know that throughout the day today, I will be both attending some conference sessions as well as providing feedback on your work from the last couple of units. I apologize, I'm a little bit behind where I usually like to be with feedback, especially for the intersession, so I'm going to try to be a little more brief with some of my feedback than I usually like to be. I only mention that because I want you to contact me if you have any questions um, about any of the scores you got or any of the processes for the assignments and so on. Um, I think we've been doing some great work. Um, I'm working on the connection steps for Unit 2 right now. I had hoped to finish it yesterday, but it didn't get there. Um, just the only comment I want to make about those is to really be sure that you're making a connection rather than a comparison. And so what that means, it's easy to compare many events, especially in New Mexico history, because certain things took place in the same region. So we can say this happened 100 years before that, or those kinds of things, and make those kinds of comparisons. Um, but instead, try to link events. Try to make connections between people, places, things that happened um, that directly connect to one another. So, for example, Juan de Oñate has a very direct connection with the Acoma Revolt, or the Battle of Acoma, because his nephew was murdered there, and he was the one that made the decision to so brutally enforce the punishment of mutilation on many of the men of Acoma after the battle that ensued there. Um, so again, he's directly involved with that and has a direct connection. Um, he has a far more indirect connection with the Pueblo Revolt. I think that you could make a case for a connection there, but you would really have to explain what are the things that Juan de Oñate did as governor that set up conditions, and what were those conditions that eventually led to a revolt 80 years later. The reason that one is more indirect is that Oñate started the colony. Um, he started the kind of brutal conditions that um, made sure that interactions between Spaniards and Pueblos were not going to be great, and that's really understating it, of course. Um, but he didn't actually um, do any of the immediate things leading up to the Pueblo revolts. People like Governor Trevino, for example, and Pope were much more directly involved with that one. So there's the connection there. And then finally, um, when you, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Um, the final thing that I wanted to say about the connections is that if you're looking at the timeline and you don't see a good connection with the topic that you've posted for the ID step, just choose something from your reading and from the videos that you know does connect, even if it's not on the timeline. So I guess what I'm saying is you don't have to choose an event that has been posted to the timeline for the connection, because I would rather you make a strong connection than a very tenuous one based on just what's already been put there. So hopefully that helps. Again, please let me know when you have questions. I will be responding to emails, tweets, and texts as usual, although maybe a bit slower today. I returned to Albuquerque